Ever picture yourself behind a currency exchange counter? Handling money from all corners of the globe.
It's a fascinating role, really, bridging that gap between global finance and those personal interactions.
Absolutely. And today, we're diving deep, no pun intended, into becoming a foreign exchange cashier
We'll uncover the essential skills, the hurdles you might face.
and the exciting opportunities this fast-paced career offers. We've got some great resources lined up for this deep dive.
A comprehensive career guide from RoleCatcher.
Insights into absolutely nailing those job interviews,
And even a glimpse into how AI is changing the job search game itself.
which is pretty wild when you think about it.
It is. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the fundamentals. When we
Yes.
say foreign exchange cashier, what are we really talking about?
Right. It's more nuanced than just, oh, I need to swap my dollars for euros at the airport.
Precisely. Picture a bustling international airport, right? A traveler arrives from, say, Japan, needing to exchange their yen for the local currency. That's where our foreign exchange cashier steps in. They handle the transaction, ensuring everything's accurate and clearly explaining those exchange rates. It's a role that demands serious precision.
Yeah, because even a small error could have some pretty big consequences.
Absolutely.
We're talking about people's money here, sometimes large sums. And on top of that, you need to stay on top of those constantly fluctuating exchange rates. Sounds like it keeps you on your toes.
It certainly does. And it's not just airports either. You'll find foreign exchange cashiers in banks, hotels, on cruise ships, basically, anywhere currency exchange is a regular service.
So it's a truly global job in every sense of the
You
word.
got it.
Now, our sources don't shy away from the demanding aspects of this career, high stress levels,
Long hours.
and the occasional, shall we say, frustrated traveler who might not be too happy with the current exchange rate.
Yeah.
It's all part of the package.
It is. And that's where having the right skills becomes absolutely crucial. Strong mathematical ability is a given,
Of course.
but you also need exceptional patience, top-notch customer service skills, and the ability to think quickly on your feet.
You have to, because essentially you're the face of financial transactions for people from all walks of life.
And each person comes with their own understanding of money and exchange rates. You have to meet them where they are.
Exactly. Speaking of understanding, RoleCatcher really emphasizes the importance of active listening in this role, actually stating it makes up a significant portion of the job. What are your thoughts on that?
It makes perfect sense. You're not just exchanging physical currency, you're often explaining complex financial concepts. And you need to do that in a way that's clear, reassuring.
Especially to someone who might be stressed, in a hurry, or just unfamiliar with how exchange rates work.
Yeah.
It's about making those complex financial transactions feel seamless and understandable for every customer, no matter where they're from or their background in finance.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just a cashier, you're a bit of a cultural ambassador in the world of finance.
Precisely. You're building trust and ensuring a smooth, positive experience. And that's crucial when you're dealing with something as sensitive as, well, money.
Absolutely. Now, that brings us to another interesting aspect of the career path itself. What does climbing the career ladder look like for a foreign exchange cashier?
You might be surprised to learn that the average foreign exchange cashier often holds a bachelor's degree.
Really? I have to admit, I thought this might be a field where experience trumps formal education.
While experience is invaluable, a solid educational foundation is becoming more and more important in this field. It's constantly evolving.
Makes sense.
But it's not just about the degree itself. Specialized certifications like the Certified Foreign Exchange Professional, the CFEP,
Yeah, I've seen that one.
that can give you a significant edge.
So it's like sending a signal to potential employers saying, hey, I've gone the extra mile. I'm serious about this.
Exactly. It demonstrates a deeper understanding and commitment to the profession. Now, speaking of demonstrating your expertise, let's shift gears to the job interview process.
Okay, let's do it.
Our sources actually offer some really valuable insights into what you can expect.
This is where it gets interesting for anyone considering this career path. It's like having a sneak peek into the interview room. So what kind of questions should someone be prepared for?
One common one is, what do you know about foreign currency exchange?
Seems straightforward enough.
It does, but it's your chance to showcase your knowledge beyond just a textbook definition.
So don't just define it, explain it. Show them you understand the bigger picture.
Exactly. Talk about the factors that influence exchange rates, economic indicators, global events.
Oh, even political instability.
Yes, demonstrate you understand the complexities involved.
So for example, if I were to say, Well, recent trade agreements between these two countries have actually put downward pressure on this particular currency.
Now you're talking. You're connecting the dots, demonstrating an understanding beyond just the surface.
Okay, I'm ready for my next interview challenge. Hit me.
Right. Let's try this one. How would you handle a customer who is unhappy with the exchange rate?
Ooh, that's a good one. We've all been that frustrated traveler who feels like they're not getting a fair deal.
Right. This is where those active listening skills, patience, and the ability to communicate clearly under pressure are essential.
For sure.
You acknowledge their frustration, explain the factors influencing the rate in a way they can understand, and if possible, offer alternative solutions.
Right, right.
It's about empathy, problem solving, and clear communication all rolled into one.
It sounds like it takes a certain kind of person to thrive in this role. And this is where technology enters the picture, right? I understand RoleCatcher offers something called AI-powered interview prep. That sounds incredibly futuristic.
It's pretty impressive. Their AI actually analyzes job descriptions and then gives you personalized feedback on your interview answers.
Wow.
It's essentially like having a personal coach.
So you can practice your answers and get real-time feedback, all thanks to AI. It's amazing how technology is changing every aspect of our lives, even the job search.
Absolutely. But now that we've tackled the interview, let's assume you land the job. What does that career trajectory actually look like? Is it a case of once a cashier, always a cashier, or is there room to move up?
That's a question I'm sure a lot of our listeners are wondering about. What are the long-term prospects for a foreign exchange cashier?
The good news is there's definitely potential for growth. You might begin as a junior cashier, but with experience, those certifications we talked about, and a drive to learn, you can progress to senior roles.
Okay.
Eventually, you could even manage an entire department.
So you could go from handling transactions at a single counter to overseeing currency exchange operations for a whole bank, maybe even a global corporation.
Exactly. And our RoleCatcher guide also highlights some alternative job titles: financial markets, back office administrator, investment clerk.
I even saw financial broker on that list.
You did. The skills you learn as a foreign exchange cashier are very transferable, which opens doors to all sorts of financial careers. It's a fantastic stepping stone into the dynamic world of finance.
It sounds like it. But speaking of the world of finance, there's a rather large elephant in the room that we can't ignore.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Digital currencies.
Cryptocurrencies, blockchain, the whole shebang. It's changing the face of finance as we know it.
It really is. And that brings us to a really critical question for anyone considering this career path. How do you see the role of a foreign exchange cashier evolving alongside these digital trends?
It's a question worth pondering.
Will we still be exchanging physical cash in the future? Or will it all become virtual? That's a question for part 2. We'll be back after a quick break to discuss the impact of digital currencies on this fascinating career. Don't go anywhere. We're back and ready to tackle that digital elephant in the room, those cryptocurrencies. It seems like every day there's a new headline about Bitcoin or Ethereum or some other digital currency I can't even pronounce.
So how does this whole digital revolution impact someone considering a career as a foreign exchange cashier?
It's a valid question. I'd say it presents both challenges and some really interesting opportunities. On the one hand, we're already seeing a shift towards more digital transactions, with contactless payments, mobile wallets, all gaining popularity.
Oh, absolutely. I use my phone to pay for practically everything these days. I actually forget what real cash feels like sometimes.
Right, and as this trend accelerates, one might wonder, will we even need foreign exchange cashiers in a world dominated by digital currencies?
Yeah, is this the end of the foreign exchange cashier? It's a fair question. But the reality is it's probably not that simple. Not everyone is comfortable with cryptocurrencies just yet. And let's be honest, hash is still king in many parts of the world.
Very true.
So we're in a kind of transitional phase. And while those digital currencies are gaining traction, it's unlikely that physical currencies will completely disappear anytime soon.
Right.
This means that the role of a foreign exchange cashier will likely evolve to encompass both physical and digital currencies.
So instead of just exchanging, say, dollars for euros, you might be advising someone on converting their Bitcoin to local currency, or maybe even explaining the nuances of blockchain technology to a first-timer.
Absolutely. It's an exciting opportunity to really be at the forefront of this financial evolution. Imagine, guiding customers through the complexities of exchanging digital currencies, ensuring compliance with regulations, navigating this ever-changing landscape of digital finance.
Wow, yeah. It's like being a financial trailblazer.
Exactly.
But it also sounds like it would require, a whole new level of knowledge and expertise.
You're right. Staying updated on the absolute latest developments in the digital currency space is going to be essential. That means understanding the tech behind it, the regulatory frameworks surrounding it, and, of course, those crucial security measures involved in handling these assets.
Speaking of security, there seems to be no shortage of news about cryptocurrency scams and hacks these days. That must add another layer of complexity to the job.
It does. A foreign exchange cashier dealing with digital currencies will absolutely need a keen eye for security risks. They'll need to know how to spot a potential scam, understand how to protect both the customer's assets and the institution that they represent.
It sounds like the learning curve for this career is about to get a whole lot steeper.
Perhaps, but again, it's also a chance to carve out a niche in a rapidly growing sector.
Mm.
The financial world is transforming right before our eyes, and those who embrace these changes, especially in this realm of digital currencies, they'll be the ones positioned for success.
It's exciting and a little daunting all at the same time. But let's step back from the digital world for a moment and circle back to some of those alternative career paths our RoleCatcher guide mentioned. You mentioned titles like financial markets back office administrator, investment clerk, even financial broker. How do those roles relate to the skills of a foreign exchange cashier?
Those roles might sound different, at least on the surface, but they all draw upon those core skills you develop as a foreign exchange cashier.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
Let's take the role of a financial markets back office administrator, for instance. This role often involves things like processing transactions, managing data, and generally ensuring the smooth operation of those financial systems. And these are all skills that a foreign exchange cashier hones every day.
Right, so that attention to detail, accuracy, and just that fundamental understanding of financial transactions, those are directly transferable.
Absolutely. And then when you consider the role of an investment clerk, you see a similar overlap. They're handling client accounts, executing trades, navigating financial markets. And again, the experience you gain as a foreign exchange cashier, especially that understanding of global currencies and exchange rates, would be so valuable in a role like that.
So it's like you're building this really strong foundation of financial knowledge and practical skills that you can then take and apply to a ton of different roles within the industry.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's the possibility of becoming a financial broker.
Now, that feels like a pretty significant step up.
It is, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. A foreign exchange cashier, with their knowledge of currency markets, trading dynamics, and those all-important client communication skills, could definitely transition into a brokerage role, advising clients on investment strategies, facilitating trades.
It's really amazing how this one role, foreign exchange cashier, can be a springboard to so many different paths within finance.
And that's the beauty of it. It's such a dynamic field with ample opportunities for growth and specialization. But it all starts with that crucial first step, really understanding what it takes to excel in this role.
And speaking of excelling, let's bring it back to something we touched on earlier, AI. Specifically how this technology might be changing the game for aspiring foreign exchange cashiers. It's kind of a double-edged sword, wouldn't you say?
It is. AI offers both fantastic opportunities and potential challenges to this profession. On the one hand, we talked about how AI-powered platforms like RoleCatcher are completely revolutionizing interview prep.
Yeah, it's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket, available 24/7. It helps you craft those perfect answers and project that confidence.
Exactly. But there's another side to this AI coin. As AI and automation get more sophisticated, they might also start handling some of those tasks that have traditionally been performed by humans, by foreign exchange cashiers.
So while AI can help you land the job, it might also end up changing the nature of the job itself.
Exactly. Think about things like data entry, transaction processing, even some aspects of customer service. These are all areas where AI and automation are making huge inroads.
So where does that leave someone who is interested in pursuing a career as a foreign exchange cashier today? It sounds like adaptability and a willingness to embrace new technologies are going to be key.
Absolutely. The key is to view AI not as a threat to your job, but as a tool, something that can actually augment your skills and allow you to focus on the more complex and nuanced aspects of the role.
So instead of being replaced by robots, you're working alongside them, using their capabilities to really enhance your own.
Precisely. The foreign exchange cashier of the future, they might be someone who can seamlessly navigate both the digital and the physical realms of currency exchange. They're comfortable working with AI-powered systems and still provide that personalized financial guidance in a world that's becoming increasingly digital.
That's a fascinating picture of the future. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've covered a lot of ground today. Everything from the day-to-day of being a foreign exchange cashier to the potential impact of digital currencies and, of course, that evolving career landscape. But there's one final, crucial piece of the puzzle that we need to address:
And what's that?
the interview. We've discussed the types of questions that you're likely to encounter, but now it's time to put that knowledge into practice. Let's step back into that interview room, shall we, and walk through some potential questions, it really nail those answers. Are you ready to step back into the role of the interviewer?
I am. Let's do it. Let's make sure our listeners have the tools they need to ace that interview.
Okay, so let's do it. Back to the hot seat. Let's say I'm sitting across from that hiring manager, and they've just asked me, what interests you about a career as a foreign exchange cashier? What's my go-to response?
That's our classic opener. And remember, it's not just about, spitting out information. It's about showing them you're genuinely interested. A good answer might touch on your fascination with the global economy, your comfort working with numbers, maybe even a personal experience that sparked your interest in currencies.
So instead of just saying, I'm good at math, I might say something like, I've always been fascinated by how currency exchange rates reflect the interconnectedness of the global economy, and I'm really eager to work in a fast-paced environment where accuracy is paramount.
Now you're talking. You've got that passion, that deeper understanding, and you've connected it back to what motivates you personally.
Okay, I think I nailed that one. What else might they throw my way?
All right, how about this? How do you stay updated on all the latest developments in foreign exchange, especially with, the rise of digital currencies these days?
Ooh, that's a very timely one.
It is. A strong answer here might mention specific financial publications that you follow, online resources you use, maybe even some professional development courses you've taken to boost your understanding of blockchain technology, digital asset management, things like that.
So it's about showing them that you're committed to that continuous learning, especially in a field that's changing so rapidly.
Exactly. It tells them you're not just keeping up with the change. You're out there seeking it out.
This has been incredibly helpful. Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are, really eager to get started in this career path?
The world of finance, especially currency exchange, it's dynamic, it's challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. So embrace that learning curve, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of that human connection. Even in a world that's becoming increasingly digital, that human touch still matters.
Those are great words to end on. It's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of foreign exchange cashiers, a role that truly sits at the intersection of global finance, cutting-edge technology, and yes, that essential human connection.
It's a career path with so much potential, especially for those who approach it with a thirst for knowledge, a passion for providing excellent service, and of course, a willingness to embrace the future of finance.
And who knows, maybe one of our listeners listening right now will be the ones shaping that future. If you're ready to take that leap into the exciting world of foreign exchange, we've got some amazing resources linked in our show notes. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those currencies moving.